is telling you should do the E-plan. It's kind of hard to argue, right? Okay, now check this out. Okay, now, all right. James, put you on the spot. How many people did you say if you went 9 levels deep with those 3 on the executive code times $20, it's how much again, roughly? $580,000 bucks. Let me ask you a question. Is there anybody here in the room that would invest between $2,800 and $3,600 bucks one time if you knew it, you could parlay it into 580 grand this year? All right, let me repeat that one more time. Now, what if he said, I have the money? If I guaranteed you, you give me $2,800 today, I'll give you 580 grand in 12 months. Guaranteed. Okay? And you didn't have the $2,800 bucks, could you find it? Okay? Why? Because you go to somebody and say, look, give me $2,800 bucks and I'll guarantee you I'll give you 100 grand in a year. Okay? You just, we don't want to steal it. Okay? No, we don't steal it. No, he's joking. But do you get my point? Does that make, just straight across the board, does it make economical sense?
Yes.
Of course. Now, here's the thing, guys. It's not guaranteed. Does that make sense? That if you start with an E-plan, you're going to earn an extra 580 this year. However, it's also not guaranteed. Does that make sense? In other words, it's possible. Where will it shake out? I don't know. If you took $2,800 bucks, started with an E-plan, and made an extra 20 grand this year, Richard, would that be a sound financial investment?
Absolutely.
Okay? If you put $2,800 bucks into the regular market, even at 5% interest, what would that be at the end of the year? You know, $4 grand or something like that. Does that make sense? Okay? So my point is, the executive plan just makes sense. I'm going to give you, let me back up on one statement. Okay? The executive plan is incredibly powerful, yet it's not for everybody. Okay? We have to be very careful, guys. When I show you this, it's compelling. But I want you to understand, we have to be careful that we don't push the executive plan to the point that people feel like they have to start with an E-plan to be successful, because they don't. Okay? The executive plan is simply an opportunity for leverage. That's all it is. Okay? If a person has the capability financially of doing an executive plan, it makes all the sense in the world. Okay? But if they don't have the ability to start with an executive plan, it will cost them money to delay starting, trying to find a way to do so. Okay? So when it comes to an executive plan, if you heard me present, I said we have an option called the executive plan. Does it make sense? It makes ridiculous sense. But it's not required for success. You don't have to do it. It's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity. But the biggest opportunity of all is 360. So the most important thing is getting your company to grow from this thing. Okay? All it is an opportunity to make more money for doing something you're going to do anyway. Okay? What does an executive plan mean? Well, what an executive plan does in a summary nutshell is an executive plan allows you to forego putting these first 3 people in the member code. In a nutshell, it allows you to forego putting those first 3 people here, and it basically allows you to put your first 3 people over here in your executive code. Why? So that you're literally earning a $20 bonus on every, or up to 20 based on the joint pack, on every single person who joins the organization. Okay? So again, guys, it's, what's going to happen, we don't know. It's one of those things that, for example, Ross, who were the first, I don't know if you'll know this exact answer, who were your first 3 people you sponsored?
I don't remember.
That are in this room, you think?
Dan, Ida, and Julie.
Okay. How many of you guys would agree it would be worth a $2,800 one-time investment to have Suzanne, Vita, and Julie in your executive code versus your member code?
Right.
Is that fair? Okay. I mean, Suzanne, you put in, probably 200 people in the first 30 days. How many of you guys would have liked to have made $20 a head in the first month only? Does that make sense? So when you look at the math on this guy, it just makes common sense to start yourself with people in your exec code versus starting them in your member code. Now, if you don't do an executive plan, what does that mean? It basically means the first 3 to 5 people that you enroll on your way to executive will fall in your member code. Okay, so in other words, if you sponsor 5 people, 5 builders, for example, because not everybody sponsors 3 to go executive. Some people sponsor a leader, a 199, 2 builders. Let's just use an average of 5. Okay, if you sponsor 5 people to make executive, when you turn executive, those 5 people that you sponsor to go executive stay in your member code. Okay, it's the people that you enroll after you're titled executive that fall into your executive code. So basically, those original people are staying right here. So what the executive code allows you to do is it allows you to create a form of leverage, okay? Put everybody, those 5 people, now they're going in the exec code versus the member code, okay? So what is an executive plan? In a nutshell, an executive plan is exactly what it's called. It's a plan for executive. You'll hear it called instant executive, okay? What it means is this: you join, right? Builder or leader, and then what do? You personally sponsor 3 people, usually 3 family members, kids, parents. You pay for a builder, and a leader. Okay, so it's $500 here, $500 here, $1,300 here, plus either $500 or $1,300 on your own. The total is $2,800 or $3,600 for your e-plan. Okay, so what you do is you put in a son or a daughter, and a cousin. Okay, or a best friend, or someone along those lines. Okay, you're not necessarily putting these people into those positions for them to build, although you can. Some people will start out, I know Lewis did this, for example. He took one of his kids and he said, look, I'm going to basically put you in a position, it's a gift. I'm going to give you the business gift. Where's Lewis at? There he is, right there. I'm going to give this gift to you. If you build it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. But don't understand, do anything for it. Okay? So seriously, he said, well, I'm going to gift you this position for that particular person in his family. Yeah, it was his choice. It's not something you have to do. The other opportunity, obviously, is to build it for yourself. In other words, you could actually build out 4 positions this way if you wanted to. Now, I'm going to tell you that's probably not likely, because in a lot of comp plans, you need extra positions. You don't really need them here. So it's not as likely that you're going to be building these yourself. Let me tell you what's most likely. What's most likely is that you're going to transfer them to another prospect at a later time. Okay? Listen, guys, let me just help you understand how the way this thing flows. When you first get started, you're going to be bringing people into your business. Okay? But there are people that are not going to join when you first get involved, no matter what you do. Okay? How many of you guys have had some of those? You're like, you need to get involved. Okay? They're like, no, wait. We had an example last night. Suzanne, who was the young lady that was there last night? Whose guest was she? The young lady that I was speaking to on the front row at the very end. She came to Romasio's house previously. She came to, was that your guest? Okay. So she has a guest. She brought from Romasio's house probably when? Like right where we're getting started. If this lady would have joined, she'd have hundreds of people below her. She didn't join. She came again last night. Okay. I said, you ready to get started? We just had 620 people join, 610 people. You could have been above all of them. Are you ready to get started? We're getting ready to do 1,000. Are you going to join now? Well, she said, well, I just need to think about it a little bit. I said, okay. You know, no problem, no big deal. Because I know what's going to happen. She's going to join at some point. It's not a question. And if she wants to join now, if she wants to join this month or last month or in 6 months, I don't care. Because I'm going to need people in 6 months too, just like I do in 90 days. Just look at them in 30 days. As a matter of fact, some ways I'm like, don't join that. We go diamond first, then I'll put you in. Because you're going to need people in your diamond code, guys, just like you need them here. You need them here, here, here. So you don't get upset when somebody you talk to doesn't join, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're just not ready yet, just next. Okay? So the point is, guys, is that here's what Suzanne's able to do. And I don't know if she can do it with this person or not, but if she's got her 3 spots, what Suzanne's able to do is just come back and say, listen, I've got a position that I'd be willing to transfer to you, okay? It's got about 4,000 people below it, and hundreds of thousands of dollars of volume coming up every month, and I'd be willing to consider, okay, putting you into this position if you're willing to come on board to the company, really get serious, and maybe we'll have an agreement that you've got to recruit so many people this month, or we can figure that part out later. But she can even sell that position if she wanted to at a premium. Does that make sense? Why? Because she has the spot locked in. Here's what 360 says. You are able to transfer, okay, those 3 positions to another person in the business within 6 months at no cost. So from 6 months from the time you put it in, if it's an executive plan, this is not the case for regular positions, but if it's an E-plan, you can actually transfer it free of charge for up to 6 months. Okay? Not only that, Suzanne put this position in when she was a member. She put in a builder leader when she was a member. But let's say at the time of transfer, when she sponsors this to her friend Mary, Suzanne is a gold. Well, guess what? The company will change this from her member code to her gold code if it's within 6 months. Okay? Wow. So is there anything to lose? Well, as a matter of fact, Suzanne can even hold on to the product, assuming it it's not too far down the road. Suzanne can actually keep the package in the box and have this person simply write her a check for 500 bucks, and she now gets back the 500 bucks she used to build the business. The person gets all the product, it goes into her gold code, free transfer. Is there anything out of pocket for Suzanne? Not one penny. Does that make sense?
So if we do not purchase that package initially, do we or do we not have the option of upgrading?
That is a great, I'm glad you asked that question. How many times have you heard this, right? Can I upgrade to an executive plan? You guys have ever heard that? Okay. I want you to think about the answer very large. Hold that thought for a minute. Be careful here, you guys can start watching. Okay, can you upgrade to an executive plan? The answer is yes. Okay, the question would be, do you need to? Okay, so let's just use this example. Person comes in, and the executive plan is not an option. Maybe they join the leader pack, okay, and they start sponsoring, and they get a basic, they get a builder, and they go and they get a leader. They've got 80 points here, 200 here, 600 here. Total points is what? 600 to 880 points. How far away are they from executive level? Okay, so you could put in, I'll call this a ghost builder. It's not a ghost position, it has a real name in it. But if you wanted to, you could go ahead and drop in your daughter into that position. 360 will still honor the same agreement, the 6 months, etc., on this one position. Okay, I believe if we have a lot of this happen, they may say all or nothing. But right now, we'll honor that for you as far as later down the road. If you put this into your daughter's name and it turns you executive, we would allow you at a later point to transfer that position. I'll say daughter here. We would allow you to transfer that position that your daughter has at a later time. So the reality is yes, you can. The question is, do you need to? Because once you hit executive, you're already there. So that's the whole point you need plan. All it is a way for you to start sponsoring into your executive code. What you need to realize, if you didn't do an executive plan, some of you guys may want to consider this. This is member code, member code, member code, member code. Now this one can change at a later time because you can transfer it. Does that make sense? But these positions here are builders, so those are in your member code forever. Okay, we don't manipulate that, okay? And you don't, by the way, don't ever try to say somebody who you put in as a builder was in your executive. No, because guys, you don't do that. Okay, this is a great opportunity the company's given to us. We don't try to manipulate it. Okay, make sense? So again, some of you may want to consider that if you've recently gotten on board and you're not at the executive level yet. You might want to consider buying yourself. It's basically buying your way to executive. It's in someone else's name, but you're the one who's doing it. Guys, you can keep the package. You can easily resell that to a person at a later time. Okay, one more question. We got to keep it.
So then, someone who has already gotten on board and then enrolled a few people, does it make sense for them to do a, I guess you could say, enroll another ghost position? So it does make sense for them to enroll another ghost position. They enroll after that, all go into the member code. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, of course it makes sense. I mean, guys, anybody you can personally sponsor to your executive code instead of your member code is worth it. Okay, for example, let's just say you got in, didn't do an e-plan. You sponsored this person, that person, that person. You're 180 points away. You're getting ready to sponsor Suzanne. Would it make sense to go buy a builder pack and put in your daughter's name here so that Suzanne would fall in your executive code?
Absolutely.
It's $20 to infinity if you want to get it if you don't know. See, the executive plan is kind of like the start. You want to get it if you don't know. Okay? But don't delay starting because you're not executive. Trust me. You'll get over those $20 bills quickly when you make bronze. And when you're silver, you can drown your tears in your 105s. Okay? Do not let it slow you down. It's an opportunity for leverage, guys. That's all that it is. Okay? Don't get too caught up into it. It's just a strategy. Now, when I say 2,800 or 3,600, what do I mean by that? Well, that depends if your position is builder or leader. Okay? If it's builder, you're going to make 15% weak side volume, no matching. If it's leader, you're going to make 20%, 20%. If you're going to do an E-plan, I would suggest this one. Okay? All right? But again, it is that you can get into it there as well. Okay? All right? Yeah, man. The point is, guys, we don't listen, there's no returns on E-plans. We don't buy one and then change our mind. If you're not sure you want to do it, do not do it, period. We don't make this available because we're not trying to get everybody to do an E-plan, guys. Sincerely, we're not. If everybody's doing an E-plan, something's probably, that's not what it's meant for. It's meant for people who are serious entrepreneurs, serious investors, that financially it's an option and they want to leverage, okay? In the beginning, we didn't even do an e-plan. In the very beginning, we still had people making 100 grand the first month, okay? Didn't do an e-plan. Now, they have made more, of course, okay? The thing about the executive plan, guys, it's really twofold. Number one, it's the duplicate. First and foremost, it is the duplication of those 20s. Your executive check, as you progress and as this thing duplicates, can get very large. But the other thing that this does is the duplication within your team. Because if you start with an executive plan, guess what's likely to happen? Where, like Richard, he's created a culture of e-plans within his group. So they're not only looking for people that can join for e-plan, obviously, okay, and people can do that, but they have a lot of people on their team that are doing so. And so as a result, guess what's happening? It's just pushing the program further faster. That's all it's doing. So it's a duplication rate that kicks in real quick. Yes, and you also make 360 star right away as well. Thank you. Okay, thank you. And so, so great opportunity, okay? Now, let's shift gears, guys, and let's talk about the zones and the projects of how we fit this entire thing together, okay? Watch this here, guys.
One question. When you move the position to new person, does he have a 30 days?
Yes, we reset their star, yes. Yeah, we reset their star.
And also upgrade.
Yes, we reset their star and they upgrade, yes. Yeah, we treat them like there's nothing that changes there, okay? Okay. If that question doesn't make sense, just CG. Okay, now watch this. I want you to pull up project 1000 for me, Gene. Or pull up project 500 for me, okay? Pull up project 500, the original. Okay, now, we're going to take this down to a whole different level by utilizing something called the waiting room. Alright. Alright guys, give me your attention up here, it's very important. Attention up here real quick, very important. Alright, in theory, if you, and you, okay, these 4 people just joined, they all want to sprint silver. They're all going to drive the same leg and tap root their way to silver on a sprint. Okay? In theory, right, it makes sense, obviously, that you're talking 25 to 30, 25 to 30. You're talking anywhere from 100 to 120 people that are getting ready to go straight down. Okay? That in itself is pretty powerful leverage because as we start sponsoring, and let's just say we've gone 10 deep, we know we're going to go 120 down here. We've got 10 spots already full. That means there's how many spots left? 110. It's pretty compelling to say I'm getting ready to drive 110 people straight down to my team. If you join right now, I'll put you in at the very top. You have 109 people down below. That's pretty good, okay? All right? So I can join at 199 right here, and I can have 109 people guaranteed down below. Okay? There's only one problem. The moment you put me into the computer, there's 2 problems. First, the second you put me in, you just lost my leverage. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because now this next person you're calling, we're getting ready to put how many in? 109 or 108, okay? And then the next person is 107, 106, 105. We're losing leverage every day that goes by, okay? The second opportunity is this. Is there really any incentive for me to start at a bigger level in order to get this position? Or am I going to get the position no matter what? Once I lock my spot, it's locked. So it doesn't matter if I start basic, builder, or leader, I'm in the same spot. So there's no additional incentive to encourage me to start at a larger path. The third component is there any leverage for me to actually get started quickly? 360 star, but is there any other leverage besides the regular comp plan for me to start quickly? No. You certainly have the comp plan leverage and all that. Not really, okay? So that's where we bring something in, ladies and gentlemen, called the waiting room. In other words, what if we said this? What if we said that you, Stephen, Romacio, Suzanne, what if all of us, for the next 30 days, we're going to go out, get our 25 to 30, but instead of putting those 25 to 30 people into the tree, what if we set all 25 to 30 people over here, okay? All of them went into the computer, they all got their product, they all started recruiting, they all started sponsoring, they all started getting checks, they all started gathering customers, hosting happy hours, doing launch calls. But what if nobody that was entered into the computer was physically placed until the end of the month? Okay? And what if, instead of just placing them into the computer based on the day they joined, what if we chose to put in all of the people that were the top recruiters during that month? What if we put them in first? In other words, what if we gave this person here, the last person to join, what if we gave them a chance okay, theoretically, to be the first person to go into the tree versus, in the example I used a moment ago, being the very last person. Okay? Or what if we gave this person here, just for signing up in a leader package, what if we told them they would go above all the builders and all the basics that enrolled for the entire month? Or even better, what if we took all these right here that were basics and builders, and what if we told them that they upgraded by the end of the month and just went up from the basics to the leader, they would automatically go above all of the 50 or 60 or 70 basics or leaders that were already in the system. Not in theory. In other words, I'm not calling you and telling you we're getting ready to go put 109 people in. I'm saying I already have 125 people who have signed up. 80 of those people came in at a basic or a builder. If you upgrade to a leader package right now, I will put you above all 80 of those basics or builders. Okay? That's more levers. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The description that I'm telling you about, ladies and gentlemen, is called the waiting room. Okay? Now this is the actual slide that was used. Can we go back to the first one, please? October, for November, Project 5. Okay. Guys, this is what we're getting ready to unpack for you right now. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I've been a network marketer for 18 years. I've never seen anything like this. This is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my career. Okay? See, the binary here gives you opportunities for leverage just by itself. But what this does is amazing. Okay? So, what will happen is this, guys. Marcio, he came to the company, got his business kicked off October 22nd. You guys want to know how he went down and how he made $65,000? This is how they did it. Okay? Came to the company October 27th. Immediately, okay, Romacio gathered his first 5 or 6 leaders. It was Julie, Suzanne, and Angela, and there's a handful of you guys, we did different ones, who came in kind of that core group. And he said, look, we're going to blow the top off this thing. We're going to put 500 people in the business in the first 30 days. Now, did they know where those 500 people were going to come from? Did they know the names of who those people were? No. But they set a goal. That's point 1. You set the goal for the project. They said, we are going to put blank into the company. Now, guys, he first said 1,000. Remember that? So I don't put 1,000 people. I said, too big. I said, don't do 1,000. Do 500. Okay? Because I'd rather you do 500 and actually get 600 than do 1,000 and get 600. Okay? Because instead of underachieving, you actually went way over your goal. Okay? So we agreed on 500. Okay? They made the decision, the team of leaders, they committed, we were going to get it done. The point is, they didn't know where the people were going to come from, they didn't know who they were going to be, they just knew they were willing to do work for it, okay? So they got started, okay? Started building and recruiting based on the fact that we're going to be putting 500 people in. You need to get started now, we're going to put a ton of those down below you, and I'll show you how you can actually get all of them down below you if you're willing to put the work in, okay? So we started filling up the waiting room. Builders, basics, leaders, builders, executive plans, basics, da-da-da. People started enrolling, and the waiting room started to fill up, okay? 1 week went by. How many people do we have in the room the first week, you think? Roughly?
Almost 100.
About 100 people. So after about a week in the program, there was about 100 people. Okay? So now it's, listen, we're going to put 500 people in, 100 have already joined. You need to get in now, and we're going to show you how you can go above many of those individuals, okay? Now, obviously, in every presentation, what was also happening is we were explaining this process. So when we were showing the plan, we were saying, listen, we've already got 100 people in. Our goal is to hit 500 by the 21st. We're going to hit that goal, okay? But you need to realize that we've got about 60 basics and builders out of those 100 that haven't sponsored anyone yet. So if you'll join right now at a leader package, I'll give you a personal guarantee that all 60 of those people will be in your downline. Now, if you knew for a fact that you could get 60 people just by joining a leader package, how many of you would do it? Okay? We said the same things to the builders. We've got 20 basics that haven't sponsored anyone yet. Okay? As long as those individuals don't recruit, if you join at a builder pack right now, I'll give you a personal guarantee that not only will we put these 20 that are already involved, but we'll put the other 100 or 200 that are likely to come on board between now and the end of the project, we'll put them below you as well just by coming in a builder. Okay? So again, now all of a sudden for $500, I've got 20 here, plus probably another 100. I got 120 people that are going to be fired where? Straight down the side of my organization. Does that make sense? That, guys, is red hot. Okay? Red hot. Now, check it out. At the end of the project, okay, 610 people in the waiting room. Okay? How did we do it? The first thing we did is we took the top recruiter during the entire period, and they went into the leg first. We then took the second top recruiter. It didn't matter where they came in. It didn't matter if they joined the first day or the last day. Second top recruiter, put into the leg right here. Third top here, fourth here, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, tenth. Okay? And this thing started rolling. So let me get you guys, let me see that mic real quick. Okay, now watch how powerful this is, okay? Well, how many of you guys, how many people dropped their load when the project was over? Roughly. Woo! Say again?
430 people.
430 people dropped in. Angela, approximately, roughly?
Over 300.
Okay, approximately 300 people, not bad, okay? What's the name? How many, roughly?
Close to 500.
Okay, roughly.
I haven't checked.
Okay, they don't know, okay. Russ, do you know? 320 people, Julie, do you know? 350, okay. So 350 people, 500 users. How many?
350.
How many?
350.
Nah, pretty awesome. Settles? How many? 350. 350, okay? So you see what I'm saying? So before you know it, guys, we took the room, and again, based on top recruiter status, then based on packages, then based on earliest join dates, okay? That's how we did it, okay? So I gotta speed this up here to show you guys what the plan coming out of this event is gonna be, okay? So everybody conceptually gets the waiting room, right? Incredible leverage, guys. I mean, amazing leverage. All right, so watch this. Now, that project is done, okay? 610, for example, okay, here. All right, now watch this, okay? Now, it doesn't matter what the number is. It's project 500, project 50. That's not the point. The point is the concept. The point is the concept of what I'm sharing with you, okay? Because it doesn't matter if you're starting with 500, 150. I don't care if you're doing project 20. The point to the moral to the story, and I'm using this as an example, 500 people deep, okay? All of these leaders that you just heard from are sprinkled throughout the leg, just like so, okay? 300 people, 200 people, 500 people, whatever, okay? Here's the beautiful thing about it, okay? Out of those 600 people, right, we know that based on the 80-20 rule, there's going to be approximately how many that are going to be really serious? 120. Let's use 100 to be fair, okay? These 100 people, if they're smart about it, okay, they're going to use what's called the silver sprint. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that means 100 leaders, somewhere between level 1 to level 600, are going to get serious. If 100 leaders decide to run the silver sprint together in December, how many people are they going to have to put in to that leg in order to make silver? A piece. Let's use 25. So that means that this leg right here in December should go how deep? 2,500 to 3,000. Okay? Here's the best part about it. All of these leaders that made silver or close to it, you don't have to wait to do this at silver, but here's my point on the silver sprint. You can start your inside leg before you hit silver, by all means. Okay? As a matter of fact, I wouldn't go more than 30 days without starting your inside leg program. Okay? The point is, use the leverage of the team to help you get your 25 to 30. Use the project to go get your 25 to 30 people to take you slow. It's a lot easier to get them by using a project 50 or a project 100 to go get those 25 to 30 people than it would be to try to go pick them off one by one by one. Does that make sense? By offering them the ability to have a pre-built organization. A pre-built organization. Matter of fact, get this. If you really think about it, do you really need a presentation, a full-on presentation, to get people to get signed up? Listen, I'll give you a pre-built downline. Give me your credit card, okay? What's it all about? It's about chocolate. Give me your credit card. What's the name of the company? Give me your credit card. What's the company? Give me your credit card. Quit talking. You're missing positions right now. Does that make sense? So I'm a little bit over-exaggerating. But you guys follow my point? When you boil it down, is it really all about all of the details and all of the ingredients and all? Guys, listen, if you're getting into conversations about ingredients, if your prospects are quizzing you about ZorbMax, and I know we have physicians in the room, so a little bit, when you're dealing with physician to physician, that's a different story. But I'm talking about when you're dealing with, insurance agent to accountant, and you're getting into ZorbMax conversation, something's going wrong, okay? We're approaching things the wrong way. Does that make sense? Is that fair? Is that fair, okay? That's too much information for the purposes of the opportunity that's in front of us, right? So here's where this gets incredible. So that's 2,500 levels in December. Now, each one of these leaders then says, okay, now I'm launching my own inside leg project. This leader says, my goal is to go silver all over again. Silver all over again, silver all over again, silver all over again. And each one of these leaders says, I'm launching a Project 25. Guys, listen, do not fall into the trap of believing that you need Project 500 to be successful. You don't. Because trust me, Project 25 this month becomes Project 200 next month, becomes Project 1000 next month, becomes Project 5000 the month after that. Does that make sense? So I don't care if you're starting with Project 10. It's not the number that counts. It's the fact that you're working the project, you're working the system yourself, and you're working what's called the zones, which I'm going to show you those in just a moment, okay? You guys see how this whole thing fits? So every leader says, I'm launching my Project 25, and now their conversation is the exact same invite. Listen, I'm getting ready to put 25 people in the business you need to join right now. I'm going to give you a pre-built download. Give me your information, let's get you. So, well, I need to talk. No, give me your information, let's get you in right now. And of course, we're going to empty that room here, right? This waiting room, and this waiting room, and this waiting room are going to be emptied out the exact same way. Okay, top recruiter goes in first out of the 25. Could be 30 or 40. But the top person goes in first, then we put in the top packs, then we put in the leaders, etc. Okay? All right, now, how do we work this? That's how the zones work, so how do we do it? Here's how we work it. December 1st to December 10th, white zone. Okay, December 11th through 20th, blue zone. December 20th through 31st, red zone. Okay? What the white zone is, guys, is the first 10 days of the month. And the first 10 days of the month in the white zone are all about what's called massive exposures. Okay? Massive, 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 massive. You know what? Let's call it massive injuries. Filling that waiting room like absolute crazy. Okay? Massive, 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 massive amounts of recruiting. Okay? This right here, massive, massive, massive amounts of presenting. In other words, guys, during the white zone, that's not the time for you to be spending a lot of time having 3-hour conversations with your prospects. During the white zone, it's the time for you to be massively exposing and massively enrolling new people into that waiting room. I don't care, packages and all this stuff, that stuff can change. Remember, as long as the $199 upgrades by the end of the month, they get moved up into the tree anyway, okay? So it's about massive, 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 massive enrollments. Okay, and the $199, we don't do 50s, guys. We do $199s, $499s, and $12.99s, okay? So it's massive, massive, massive enrollments. And I'm talking your exposures. The first 10 days of the month, guys, you ought to expose more people than you do the last 20 days combined. Whereas you should package 30 days worth of exposures into those first 10 days if you really want your projects to work right. Okay, so during the first 10 days of the month, guys, it's not a lot of, once we set our goals and we set our projects, it's not a lot of fluff. It's just massively exposing and making as many calls as you possibly can. It's running blitz calls, 10, 15-minute presentations that are very short, sweet to the point, 3, 4, 5 times a day. The video, it's just massive exposures as much as possible during those first 10 days, okay? Now, the second 10 days of the period, that's when you have more of your massive presentations happening. Massive launch calls, massive chocolate happy hours, executive lunches. That's when your leaders are getting into the cities and so forth. And we're taking all these people that have come in that maybe don't know all of the details. Maybe they were on a short 10-minute sizzle call. Maybe they, you know what I'm saying? They know the information, but they're not yet really indoctrinated into the whole big picture. Well, that's when we take those individuals from their toe in the water and we start really getting them serious. Okay? And then the last 10 days of the month is massive volume by way primarily of upgrades. So what I'm saying to you guys, if you learn to break your month down, and we work this thing as one big team, and everybody's moving in unison, can you imagine the power of the whole company doing this? Like, what if we had, during the first 2 days of the month, we had massive conference calls company-wide, and everybody in the same company is on the same sheet of music as far as the projects and the zones and so forth, right? And then during the second, and this is happening all over the country. And then before you know it, we have massive amounts of presenting going on, massive amounts of conference calls, happy hours, travels, big events. I mean, everything is going down during this time period right here, right? And then at the end of the month, what's it all about? The last 10 days of the month are about upgrades. And that's when we take, like in this example, there were roughly 300 basics and builders, I think, right? So once we got down to the last week of the project, we had about 300 builders and basics that were in the program. And that's when we started doing a calling blitz. And we started doing upgrade contests. You guys remember the contest that Thompson was running? Free travel things. And we do a lot of fun stuff like that, incentives, to go ahead and encourage you to upgrade. So basically, I picked the phone up and I called Ray Lynn and said, Ray Lynn, look, there's 300 people that are in this waiting room that are basic and builder, okay? You're sitting in a builder right now. If you upgrade right now to the leader pack, I'll put all 300 below you, girl. You know, for upgrade, get upgraded now. And by the way, with upgrade incentive, the first next number of people that upgrade, there's also this. And so it's an incentive to teach people to use. So the point, ladies and gentlemen, is the system, is the zones. White, blue, red, all over again. White, blue, red, white, blue, red. Every 30 days, this is the cycle that 360 runs on. And guys, I'm telling you right now, this cycle of the zones with the waiting room, and you can see how it all fits together, 360 star, it wouldn't be possible without that. It wouldn't be possible without the IFS, because you wouldn't make any money in strong leg. It wouldn't be possible without one leg rank, because you wouldn't be able to turn rank in one leg anyway. Does that make sense? It wouldn't be possible without the waiting room, because this wouldn't work. So it's all of these factors that come together. And by the way, it wouldn't be possible without chocolate, because that's what makes it so simple to just make the introduction. And for someone to not have to understand every single detail under the sun. Okay? So the point, ladies and gentlemen, is a finely tuned machine. And so what we do in 360 is we run projects over and over and over and over and over and over every single month. Okay? And that's what I would encourage you to do. That's make a decision in your head, your mind, for the next 3 to 5 years. I don't care if you're starting with a project of 10. What you start with is completely irrelevant. Okay? What matters is that you understand the projects and you're willing to run the projects, folks, over and 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 over again. Okay? Just replicating every 30 days over and over. The beautiful thing about it is the whole company's on the same page. Your neighbors sit next to you left and right, they're running projects as well. So during our presentation, listen, get with your upline. We're running a massive recruiting project. You have the opportunity to have dozens and dozens and dozens of people down below you very, very quickly. So get with the person who's invited you to see our plans. Okay? And most importantly, get involved. Okay? And so it gets like this. So everybody see that?
Yeah.
So that's a rapid fire. That's a rapid fire presentation of the 360 system. People often ask me, what's causing your company to grow? You know, is it the product? That certainly has something to do with it. Is it the ownership? That's something to do with it. Is it timing? That's something to do with it. Okay? But it's all that stuff away, folks, is the system. It's the system that is causing this company to explode like it is. Okay? It's all of the factors that have come together to create a program, right, that works for you and I as leaders and works for us as distributors. Okay? So that's a little bit of our system. So let me bring you up to the front here, guys. Let's give Mossy a closer break. So we'll look at that, but I also want to take and here's a mic here if you need one, anything you want to share with your team, especially in regard to the zones and the projects. Give you a chance to do that as well.
Well, what I want to do, because we got to get Stephen out of here to the airport, but I'm going to stay behind and continue this training. But Stephen has much more limited time than I do. So we're going to do any quick questions while you have your vice president. Guys, how many of y'all like this plan?
Whoa, yeah. Yeah.
I got one question before we open it up, because we only have about 15-20 minutes. You got to get out of the airport. How many of y'all truly get it now? Now, I'm not expecting all of you to raise your hand, but how many of y'all see what we did now? And you see how we did it? By show of hands. That's about right. It's about the right number. Those of you that didn't get it, it's okay. You got your neighbor here plus myself. We'll help you understand. The most important thing, and I'm glad you went fast, because I know some of you are very intellectual and you want us to do it again, turn the lights up. Some of you guys want us to do it.